It's the next day. We do have a fuel pump for the Ram. But right now we're gonna be working on the 180. I was taking it home from work and realized that we were building about 12 pounds boost, which is way too much for stock. It's supposed to be at like 9 max. So I'm gonna go on a test drive and make sure that it is actually overboosting before I start taking stuff apart. I checked to make sure that the wastegate lines and everything was connected, and it is. Still running fine. Just don't know what could be causing that overboost if it's not the wastegate. So it's time to go on a little test drive. So we did the test drive and my suspicions were confirmed. We are overboosting. Wastegate's not limiting. The good news is that we have a mechanical wastegate. The bad news is that it's a mechanical wastegate. So it's not a simple fix. It could be a simple fix. Just depends on if the car wants it to be a simple fix, pretty much. Trying to set up my light. And after this, we have to do the oil pump still. So hopefully this is a quick fix. Let's see. So I have this line, which comes off the intercooler piping and goes straight into this T, which goes to a switch and to the wastegate. And I don't see any cracks along the lines. That all seems fine. It's getting dusty under here. I need to clean all this up. So now I just have to figure out why is this wastegate not opening. I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit and see if I can move the arm of the wastegate back and forth and see if it'll free it up or see if it's free. If it's completely free, then it should be able to open. It's just not getting a boost signal. I'm gonna go ahead and pop off this vacuum line as well, make sure that there's nothing clogged in it. I don't know why it would be, because it's air filter straight into the turbo and then straight up, and then our wastegate line is right here. And it's still intact. Ooh, this is hot though. Everything's intact. So, and it's getting boost signal because it's getting 12 psi all the way through the piping and into the intake manifold, and you can tell it's not like I checked my gauge to make sure it's right, and it's definitely right because it feels like it's a lot faster. I just got to figure out what's going on. There's a pinch in a vacuum line right here that could cause it. I did have a little bit of a stumble once at idle, so maybe it's a vacuum leak. But it'd have to be a vacuum leak right here. Like this is like these 3 lines. So actually we do have a gash. I don't know if that's enough of a gash. I don't even know where that could be from. But I'm gonna take all these lines apart and look at all of them individually and let y'all know. So I'm not sure if this will actually fix the problem or not, but we did pull this line off of that singular port right here. Then put my finger on, and it attaches to the actual intake. So I'm not sure if this will affect anything, but it is frayed like crazy. Like this thing is dry rotted. Frayed everywhere, tore up, and it's looking like all these other ones are too. So we're just gonna do general maintenance and replace all these, because why not? I mean, that's pretty bad. They can cause problems in the future, even if it's not this problem right now. We're gonna keep this in, of course, though, which it's bent as well, so I might just replace it too. But I need to remember, this line goes in the second port. The first port goes to the wastegate. I don't even know what these are ports to, so maybe I can figure that out as well. Update. Camera quality's bad because the lighting's bad, but this is what we found. We found this hose, which is dry rotted and it has a gash in it. It's right underneath this clip holder. And we found this one, which is super dry rotted, chewed up. It's in pretty rough condition as well. But we also just happen to have the exact same vacuum line just laying around. So we're replacing those two. The last one was this one that went to the intake, the one that originally caught my eye because of how chewed up it is. We don't have a vacuum line this size, so we're going to reuse this for now, but I'm going to replace it as soon as I get to a parts store pretty much. So I'm going to throw this back in there, throw those two new lines on there and see, and it should be cool now so I can actually test the actuator arm and see if it's going to move on its own. If it doesn't, then all this was for nothing, but I mean, it's just preventative maintenance anyways, and we're going to have to probably take off the turbo and clean it up. So let's hope this fixes it. I'm about to fix the wastegate and do the AFR gauge. I'm not going to record it, but I am just letting y'all know. I'm going to knock it out and then I'll explain it in a little bit. Okay, update. A lot has happened. I got the downpipe out. Welded the new bung, got a new O2 sensor down there, mounted sideways, further down from the original. It's not as far as the kit wants me to put it, but it's already in. Now I'm tightening the turbo outlet to downpipe, and then the exhaust will be done. O2 sensor's in, harness is going across the back of the engine. Unless I can figure out a new way to get it through to the bay, or through to the interior. We have wired up the gauge through the fuse box on the driver side foot panel. Gauge works with ignition only, not with power. Everything works. It's just a matter of finishing this last little bit. Tightening up that the turbo downpipe, running the wire through. Right here is where I'm gonna try and put it. Running it through, hooking it up to the little bitty control unit, it's a little bitty box, and then making sure everything works. It's been a lot. I had to cut, I had to weld, I had to do everything tonight, but it's almost done, and then we'll have a working AFR gauge, so it'll all be worth it. And then of course I have to do oil pressure and oil temp gauges as well, which I'm gonna have to do a oil filter relocation kit, take out the oil filter, do a little relocation to somewhere, probably right here, and then hook up 2 more wires and then add 2 more gauges and wire everything in. And yeah, but this is where I'm at tonight. I'll show you all the gauge once it's working and it's actually reading AFRs. And my car is back on the ground. Because right now it's been a long night. I've been at it for about 4 hours. But we're almost done. So I'm going to keep working. Okay, so we started up the car. It's not warmed up yet. But our gauge is working. It's reading 14.6, which is like, I mean, it just clicked at 14.7, which I'm pretty sure is absolute perfect. So our car is running as healthy as I thought it was. Super happy to see this. If it warms up all the way, it might change. Maybe once the idle air control valve kicks off, it might start running rich. But that's just going to be a thing we have to see in the future. I'm going to try and mount this up fast and call it a night. Yeah, this gauge is really cool. I like it. So if I click, it gives me an amber. Click back, it gives me white. Still got to peel this off, but I'm going to hold on to it for a second. And all of our other gauges are still working great. That one still doesn't work at all. Waiting on the wire to come in. Now we're getting 14.7, 14.8. So it seems like as it's warming up, it's getting a little bit leaner. I don't know what could be causing that. I mean, it's not anything to worry about, obviously. It's still like right at 14.7. So, yeah, this is where I'm calling it tonight. It's pitch black outside. It's like 12 o'clock. Oh, there we go. Idle air control valve might have kicked off. It's going up to 15 now. And it's trying to work its way back. In the 13s. This is going to be fun to watch and keep an eye on while I'm driving, see how everything's actually running. But yeah, I'm calling it tonight. See y'all later. Alright, I've done a pretty horrible job of recording all the stuff I'm doing to this car right now. Mainly because I'm having either a buddy help me or just trying to get it knocked out and I'm doing it at nighttime. Got a little bit of daylight today. Now I did show y'all how I did install the AFR gauge. It is running perfect. It's at 14.7 at idle and it's at like 12 whenever I'm at wide open throttle, full boost and everything. It's not limiting boost pressure right now, so it's the wastegate, or the wastegate's what I started looking at. I went ahead and replaced the line right here. Goes down straight to the wastegate. I deleted the boost control solenoid, threw a little bitty cap on it. It's not unplugged or anything. So it's still there. I did have to take out the downpipe and everything. And basically, the way you install the AFR gauge, you take out the downpipe, you weld on a new O2 sensor, which I don't know if y'all can see. It's the one sticking out this way, down there. And then the wire just comes, this is the old O2 sensor, or it's still in function, but it's not the star of the show anymore. But we basically just have the wire running across the top underneath these brake lines, going into the cab, and it's that simple. You just wire it up and you hook that up to it. Here in about 2 weeks, we're gonna be doing the oil filter relocation, and then we're probably gonna mount it like right here. And once we do that, we're also gonna go ahead and get our oil pressure and oil temp gauges, and then this thing's ready for the track. I'm gonna do trans fluid change, diff fluid change, simple maintenance, and we got to get the tires for these wheels. These wheels look decent enough for a spare set for the track. This one's pretty scratched up, but it'll do. Still have to do this one. I'm gonna do that one tonight maybe. Yeah, but for a spare set, these are good enough. That one's the worst though. So yeah, it is overboosting. Wastegate won't open. I singled out the wastegate by basically sending the boost line straight to the wastegate. If it doesn't open at 5.5 to 7 psi, then it's obviously something with the flap or with the actuator, and it's opening. Well, it's not opening. It gets up to like 12 psi, and then I let off the gas. So, and sometimes it will kind of stop. It'll get up to 9, and then or like 10, and then fall back. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and pop the actual wastegate off and see if I can feel anything, see if it's hard to open, all that good stuff. Yeah, all it is holding it on is 2, I believe 12mm bolts and 1 C-clamp, and then that should be it. So I'm gonna try and pop this out real quick. Update, we got the old wastegate actuator out. It wasn't too bad. It does still open. I can't really show you with one hand, but it opens. I'm assuming something broke internally. It's not allowing it to actually use the air to push the arm, opening up the flap. The flap moves completely freely, which is what I'd want. And we're getting an HKS wastegate actuator. It'll be in Monday. It's Saturday. So I went ahead and got it out, put it all back together. So Monday when it gets here, I can throw it in real quick, take it for a spin, and since it's adjustable, we'll be able to make about 12 psi instead of 9. So it ends up being an upgrade. That 2 psi might help us out a little bit on the track. This thing will be on the track in hopefully 2 months. That's my goal. I haven't picked out an actual event, but that's what I'm aiming for. So I'm about to start sanding that wheel down, try and make use of my time while I got some. It is 12 a.m. I just got back home with a brand new to me T25 turbo. So this should be able to fix our little problem we got. Alright, we're back out with a 180 again. This video wastegate is not working. I'm actually recording this after I've already recorded some stuff. We replaced the wastegate with a, wow, that camera is dark. There we go. We got a brand new HKS wastegate actuator. New hose ran to it. Completely deleted the boost control solenoid. Plugged everything off. Here's some of the stuff I've showed in this video. It's still not working, and since it's not working, we had to buy a new turbo. And the reason we had to buy the new turbo was because, let me set the phone down so I can pop this actuator off. On the internal of the turbo, there's a flapper, and this arm controls if it's open or closed. And on our turbo right now, in some way, the internal flapper disconnected from the arm, so it's staying closed even whenever the arm opens. Arm moves freely on our turbo, but it's not opening the flapper, allowing boost to come out. So we bought that new turbo. We're getting a reseal kit, and we're also getting the oil filter relocation kit so we can run our oil pressure gauges. So we're gonna take off the exhaust manifold and take off the intake manifold and all that, and then reseal everything, take off the valve cover and repaint it. And I went ahead and took a look, wire weld some of this, and this is gonna turn silver. So I'm probably gonna do that with this so that way it'll match stuff better, because the red is just kind of out of nowhere. And then we'll get a little spark plug or a coil pack cover, so that way the engine bay will look a little bit nicer. And while we take the intake manifold off, I'll probably clean it up as well. That's not going to be in this video, but I did want to update you on some things I'm going to be doing. And then after that, all we need is oil pressure gauge, oil temps gauge, some tires, because we have finished polishing the faces of all of our wheels. They're already, the barrels are horrible, but hopefully you won't be able to see them, because it should be able to hug the rotor pretty nicely. Like these wheels, you don't really notice how dirty they're on the inside just because of how white they are on the outside. I'm hoping something similar kind of happens with those, but not sure yet. So yeah, we're gonna have to replace the turbo and put the new wastegate actuator on the new turbo. And actually, I'm probably gonna take this one off, since it is technically just the exhaust housing that's broken with the flapper. And I might be able to weld the arm back onto the flapper and get it to work again. And I know they make repair kits. So if the new turbo has less play in the turbine, I'm probably going to use the new turbo as a whole and keep this one as a spare. Or I'll just use the exhaust housing from the new one if this one has less play. And then either way, we're going to have a spare turbo sitting around taken to the track with us just in case something breaks. But yeah, that's a little update for everything that's going on with this car. All my videos have kind of been sporadic and spread out through multiple weeks, but I'm gonna try and start piecing them together, putting out many shorter videos, because I think it'll be easier to keep track of my progress that way as well. But yeah, that's just a little update for today. I might take this off tonight and get to wire wheeling it, because I want it to be silver and match, because once we get a silver coil pack cover, it'll look nice and it'll match the aluminum intercooler piping and, you know, just simple stuff. So yeah, I want to give you a little update.